What up, YouTube, and welcome back to another beer review here at Thomas Opent. We're going to do one of my little English reviews, which I like to do every now and then, and we're doing it in the form of Walhalla Fortuna. Fortuna. Walhalla Brewing Company out of Amsterdam, or, yeah, I said Walhalla Brewing Company. It's Brouwerij Walhalla in Amsterdam. Yeah, love the can art. I always love Walhalla's can art. Just showing that off again, all the little figurines. Fortuna is a Zaka and Simcoe India Pale Lager coming in at 5.6% ABV. The canning date is 26/04/2022. Best by 01/03/2023. Today is the 12th of September, so we're looking at sort of like a four and a half months old, which I'm okay with. If done properly, 4.5 months. Sure, it's not fresh anymore. But I've said this before, I've had IPAs, IPLs, whatever kind of beers that were, 2 months old and way past their prime. And I've had IPAs that were 6, 7 months, 8 months old and still perfect. It's a matter of so many circumstances, so many little things. I'm okay with this. I got this beer from Yadi. Yadi sent probably the biggest beer mail I ever had in terms of. I have one other person who has sent me so many beers throughout the years that it's just insane. No, actually, there's two or three of them, but this was the biggest beer mail I ever had from one person in one go. 24 beers, including a lot of lagers, a lot of pilsners, so I love that. Really happy with that. I like Walhalla's stuff. They've done some pretty good things in the past. They're definitely one of the brewers that I consider one of the best in the Netherlands. And I just got back from work and I'm dying for something fresh, something crisp. And I saw this in a fridge and I figured that is a review beer if I've ever seen one. So what we have is an asshole pour. We got a slightly hazy, unfiltered look to it. It's actually, for a Pilsner, it's quite hazy. This really just has the look of a classic West Coast IPA almost to it. Well, almost classic. They tend to be slightly less hazy and maybe a little darker, but in terms of, and a very, very, very white head on it. I poured it like an asshole, so that's on me. It was a little bit lively when I opened the can. It wasn't a gusher, but I got a little bit of foam, so that probably has a little bit to do with it as well. Asahi Simcoe, especially Simcoe. I'm a big Simcoe fan. So get those two in an IPA or an IPL in this case, and you pale lager, you're going to get so much tropical fruit. You're going to get some dankness. You're going to get the earthy, spicy notes, all of that shit. I hope so. So let's see what this has to offer on the nose. Yadi, thank you so much for sending this. Can't wait to dive in. Yeah, that's exactly what it says on the can. In terms of what the hops do, there's your tropical melange. You get your pineapple. You get your peach stone fruit thing. You get your just your generic tropical fruit vibe. You get some citrus notes in it. You get a little bit of grapefruit. There's definitely there's a sort of a piney thing in the back, but it's mostly the Azaka that's doing its thing here. There's sort of like almost like a berry, gooseberry, white berry thing, white grape thing in the background. I quite enjoy this. The only thing here, there's nothing really in the nose right now that screams lager to me. If this was a mystery beer, I would have just said, 5.5%, 6% ABV IPA. It smells vibrant. It smells refreshing. It smells inviting. Just to get beyond your general descriptors, just get the emotional response. This is something that I really can't wait to dive in, to crush. I suppose that's where the lager component comes in for me, even though an IPA can do that. But whenever I smell a good lager, the first thing I want to do is I want to crush it. I want to drink it. I want to gulp it down. And that is exactly what this is doing for me right now. The head is dissipating a little bit, so maybe we can get a little bit more from that nose. There is a soft, danky little component in the back, which is not very intense, but it's there a little, sort of that earthy green vibe. Most of this is just a big tropical fruit medley. let's dive in, see if we can get a little bit more of a lager profile from the taste. There we go. Yeah, again, thank you so much, buddy. Cheers. So yeah, first of all, that drink's like a lager. It's got that crisp, clean bitterness. It's got that pithy. Here is where the Simcoe is doing its thing. It's got sort of like a resiny, piney, bitter, pithy, like the citrus pith thing going on in the background. Very much this Azaka on the nose, Simcoe on the back end. Absolutely brilliant. And that fresh, clean, clear lager feel to it. There is even a subtle hint of a sulfuric note there in the background. It's subtle. It's subtle. It's hardly noticeable. And again, it really drinks much more like an IPA than an IPL in terms of the palate, in terms of everything that it's doing. This is pretty well hopped. This is definitely not a hoppy lager. This is definitely, India Pale lager. If you want to look up, just go Google the differences between when is it just a hoppy or a little dry hop lager or an actual IPL. Not interesting right now. Just go Google that. It's great. It's fun information. First of all, I freaking love this thing. This is a great beer to just enjoy right now. It's just really I really want to take my time with this. I want to crush it, but I want to take my time with it because this is not something I want to be done with way too soon. There's that sort of, yeah, there's a little bit of that dank coming through right now. The more I have it now on the nose, there's that little danky note that gets a little bit more intense, sort of like that soft cappy, sort of like that. God, what's that thing? What's the plant called? It's a buxus. Is it a buxus in English as well? We have a plant called buxus in the Netherlands. I don't know what it's called in English, in American. Anyway, that sort of danky little thing. I like this. This is way too easy to drink. It's definitely in that mouth, in that finish, that what happens here in the back end when it keeps coming, that you're definitely reminded of the fact that this is a lager. It's so nice and crisp and clean. It almost drinks like you know what? I just said it's so crisp and clean. No, it's not that crisp and clean. It actually has like a little dirty edge to it. Like a soft, dirty little edge that betrays that this is a little bit more than just a normal lager. But it is still has a crisp and clean thing to it. I'm contradicting myself here, but it's my review. I can do whatever the hell I want. Sometimes, you just get impressions over a while. I've said this before. Sometimes it's very difficult to just do within a span of 10 minutes, just do a quick beer review and say a lot of things. Sometimes, a beer evolves a little bit while you're drinking it, and your first impression just changes after a few sips. Especially with like your big stouts and shit like that, but also with a lovely little India Pale lager like this one. Walhalla really crushed this one. Killed it with this one. It's awesome. I love it. If you can find this somewhere, go pick it up. It's such a lovely little fruity medley. Fruity? It's fruity medley. It's a fruit medley, mostly towards the tropical thing. It's got a little bit of like a white fruit thing going on, like a little bit of a white grape, maybe a little like a gooseberry. I'm not sure if that really fits into the Azaka profile, but here it does give me that impression. All I know is I like it, and I'm very happy Yari sent me this. Buddy, well done. I love this. This is good stuff. And that's it for this review. If you liked it, hit that like button. If you really liked it, hit that subscribe button. Again, I can't thank Yari enough for sending me all those beers. In the description box below, you'll find a link to all of my social media, a link to the Dutch Beer Collective, and a link to mysterybeer.nl. Do me a favor and check out all of the channels of my buddies in the Dutch Beer Collective, Remy, Gerben, Douglas. Hit me up with some comments, and I'll see all of you guys in another review soon. Cheers.